In 1987, myself and a group of British gymnasts went to train in Russia for a month at the gym in Vladimir. That's the home of Yuri Korolev and Vladimir Artemov. This video is just to show a little bit of Yuri Korolev's training. He had been away in a training camp and just come back to the gym and was just having a little feel of the session. That's Vladimir Artemov having a little chat, and that's me on the rings with my coach for that month, Viktor Plisov. The gym in Russia was pretty basic, full of activity. The apparatus wasn't brilliant, it wasn't the best facility, but it had a fantastic atmosphere of work. Here's Yuri Korolev training some pommel horse, working some of his voluntary skills, just going through half routines, having a nice relaxed session. That's his coach, Sasha Fyodorov. It was lovely because these world-class gymnasts were training in with us British gymnasts, and it was absolutely brilliant to see their work, how they trained, and just to be in the same environment as them, which is something you very rarely get to do, especially as a young gymnast. This is David, my teammate, training on pommels with Yuri. David was an excellent gymnast. He went to the Olympics in Barcelona in 1992. He's getting ready for an international competition in Japan the following month, so he's just working on his routines, training. At this point in our month's training, we were pretty exhausted because we had come from probably training 12 to 15 hours a week to getting used to really training 6 days a week for 6 to 7 hours a day. Yuri Korolev's looking very relaxed there, probably feeling a bit tired. In fact, he probably looks just as exhausted as we were feeling as well in the gym that day. Lovely for Sasha, Yuri's coach, to be giving David some feedback and tips on how to help him out with his routine. This is me working routines on the rings. When I came back, I had to go to Canada for an international competition. So again, just working some new routines, actually new skills there with my coach Victor. Training alongside Yuri Korolev on the rings. Again, just such an amazing experience just to be mingling in with gymnasts of this level at such a young age. You can see Yuri's just really getting a feel for his body today, but then effortlessly swings to handstand. Such an accomplished gymnast, twice world champion. That's his coach Sasha. He was a lovely coach, always smiling, very laid back, very relaxed. But then again, he was coach to the current world champion, so he probably had a lot to be happy about. We're training on the vault at the moment, and Sasha's given me some tips for my tuck cuervo. Whilst my coach is also coaching his own gymnasts on the parallel bars. He had a group of young lads. Victor was a very patient coach, one of the kindest coaches I've ever trained with. Would never get frustrated, was always laid back and worked so hard. He was such a hands-on coach to work with. It's me and Yuri on the vault. Obviously, I didn't want to stand too close to him. I was in awe, really, so I wanted to give him lots and lots of space. He's working his handspring straight front. I don't think that was his competition vault, but I think it was maybe something which he had his eye on for the future. Over to the floor. The floor wasn't a very springy floor, certainly not by today's standards, but it was nice and soft because it had great big layers of chip foam on it. So very easy going on the ankles. But in relation to today's floor, it was very slow to react. But there's Yuri making a full twisting double layout somersault look really, really easy. He was a superb gymnast. He would work through 6 apparatus in the morning, working his voluntary skills, and then come in the afternoon working his compulsory exercises. Double front somersault on the parallel bars. Not many gymnasts competed that skill at this time in gymnastics. Parallel bars was a really strong piece for Yuri. This is a skill he has named after himself, the Korolev. The giant swing with a back straddled somersault to catch the bars. Not many gymnasts can say they have a skill named after them. Superb technique in the flying back somersault and the stutz, but you can see he's just going through the motion because his form isn't as precise as it would be for competition. Finishing his session with some dismounts, double pike back somersault. He wasn't gonna move on until he had stuck a couple. That's number 1. Stuck dead. But as a perfectionist, get up again until you can stick the second one, and there you have it. On to the next piece. Onto the high bar. At this point in time, all the gymnasts wore handmade handguards, just made out of strips of leather, which they cut themselves. Just the raw leather. The leather was very greasy, so it took quite a while to wear the handguards in, because they were full of animal fat. So lots of chalk to get them worn in and dried out. Here's his one-arm Kachev. And his double layout dismount. He was a superbly strong gymnast, always very solid, working his layout somersault with a full twist. Working some compulsory exercises here. As I say, always a perfectionist, always technically analysing what he was doing. Brilliant.